How's it going, everyone? This is EssentialCast, and welcome back to another reading of a short, scary story. I say a short, scary story because after last time, which was like a ridiculously long video, I've decided to switch to doing one story and stuff, and then it gives me more time to maximize the use of these and stuff, because I don't think there's that many on this website. I'm not sure. I don't know if I read that or if I said that in the amounts in another one. No, I don't see it. But the one we're gonna be reading is called Checkmate by A. Martin. This is one of the earliest I've actually read actually recorded a video, except for during the original modded Minecraft morning, where I would get up at 7 and immediately start recording, then edit, upload, and stuff. Before I started doing that at night, because I just didn't have the time in the morning to do it every single day. But it's kind of early in the morning because of the fact that my sister has a Halloween party that I'm going to. So I'm going to be spending most of the day there helping, getting things set up, just help her get it all set up, and then that'll be it for pretty much my entire day. But anyway, this is called Checkmate by A. Martin, published September 8th, 2017, if you're interested. And that about does it, Alfred gloated gleefully. I exterminate half of America and Europe by faulty vaccinations. Checkmate. Peter laughed, rolled his eyes. I'm assuming that's supposed to be rolling his eyes. Old fool, your memory is definitely going along with your age. Don't recall, Alfred, boy, that you've won 4 years ago and have been implementing that very vaccine alternative. How about trying to be more inventive this time, old chap? You are Skull and Bones, after all. Almost ancient Skull and Bones members or not, Alfred, obviously dubious to the fact, was and probably had been forthgoing the beginning of stages of fading memory loss. Not quite dementia, but soon enough, perhaps. The once sharp-minded, and most members were, had even forgotten to ask Pete if he cared for tea during the catastrophic game of chess, and Alfred never forgets. But he had just turned 93 2 months back. Peter was not going to remind him, not of that. He'd had more New Age-minded plans for his family's future, humanity's future. Better late than never, he had started to believe in. Even at 90 years of age, this sudden new realization began digging in its claws into his soul 2 months ago, when one of the last original members of 8 kicked the bucket of pneumonia at a ripe 87, and with family by his bedside. Another feisty, strong-willed member. There are no women allowed in the shadowy group of the original 1937 Yale secret alumni. He'd had a good run with the group, but it started to make Peter wonder just what legacy he'd left his own family with, other than with the group, which wasn't much. They'd all spoken and attributed to the outside world as one unit with any means necessary to birth their dreams of the world domination as one. A one-world government, then hopefully a one Orwellian world then controlled and owned by them and a few million people left as their good doers for the secret faction. Sound a bit Oh god, I cannot speak this morning. Sound a bit clown crazy? It was, At least now to Peter. For hundreds of years, the anti-Constitution group planned and done whatever they could to capture that one final plan, and always failed. Something always divinely good got in the way, and this time it was Peter's conscience, and he started to wonder about the future of the world and his own bloodline. It had ought to be better. 4 years ago, you say. Alfred sat back, laced his fingers together over his chest in deep, tired thought. Well, it has been a good while since our last meet here in Switzerland. I can hardly recall what the last chess game resulted in accomplishing. Nothing much, Alfred, I assure you, Peter grunted impatiently. You had won 4 out of 6 games and decided on the vaccine genocide, and there are still more than 1 billion people sniffing around on the planet. He slowly leaned forward, stared at Alfred. Nothing has worked, old boy. Nothing. Nothing since this so-called secret fraternity of successful and knowledgeable men had started this brain-sick dream of one world ruled by a mere influential few rich families. The plan since its birth has always been railroaded by divine circumstances, Alfred. There are now only 2 of these secret society's members left on the planet, me and you, old boy. And indeed, we are old. Don't you want a brighter and safer and a lot more successful future of your own family? The world they can call their own, without all the wars and strife that's going on, still going on, after all this time, because of us? He slowly sat back, reflected, then said, when I start taking about the world what my grandchildren might have to live in, and all the blood perils of that every day, it makes me wish I was never a part of this, Alfred. Makes me wish I was never even born. All of our members were born and grew up in all of this lunacy, caused by the failures of our past members' idiotic dreams of the future. We have to face a brighter future, Alfred. We are not going to win. We're almost worm food. That's our future, and we should start accepting that. There hasn't been a new Skull and Bones member sworn in since the Reagan administration, and now jump up the San Francisco Bridge amidst a traffic jam? Slowly nodding, taking it all in, Alfred let out a deep sigh. After a couple of minutes, his hands began to shake. You know, Pete, he breathed, I can't even remember my kids' names, let alone my grandchildren's anymore. No matter how many times I'm reminded, I just can't. And yes, Peter, I do want a brighter future for them. He swallowed hard, and a tear bead rolled down his thick glasses, down his bony cheek. Peter watched, unmoving, hoping Alfred would sink into his new dream of the world's future, of their own family's sake, and maybe even help him implementing it in a heartbeat. Peter, he finally sighed, you've always been a good friend to me, to us all. You're a real solid old chap. Just want you to know that. And please, let our grandchildren play and grow up together. Before Peter could reply to his odd last statement, Alfred hauled something out of his pants pocket and held it out in his fist, palm down. Would you like one? No, Peter shook his head. I was never much one for candy and breath mints, chaps. I'm more of a... And before he could finish, Alfred leaned his head back and popped the contents in his fist into his mouth. A Mentos fell myself, Peter finished. Peter waved him away with a hand. He now comfortably rested on his lap. Is that like a cyanide tablet or something? Close your eyes a minute, old chap, Alfred told him. Peter did. After less than a minute, a sudden gargling it is cyanide. A sudden gargling erupted in the inaudible room, and he couldn't help himself any longer. He opened his eyes. Confusion disappeared as he laid his eyes on Alfred, whose eyes were still open but frozen, looking up. His open, twisted mouth spewed white foam down his cheek, slathered slathering the chest and shoulder of his $5,000 three-piece arm-and-eye suit. Cyanide, Peter thought, and nodded, realizing that what had just suddenly taken place. Slowly, he got up, buttoned his gray blazer, and gave his long-time friend a respectful farewell nod. Checkmate, old boy. He whispered, a sigh, left the room. So I suspected it was probably going to be cyanide. I thought I was that. Wait, is that cyanide? But that was pretty cool, actually. I really enjoyed that. A. Martin is a great author. We read something of his before. What one was it? Hang on, let me go back. I think it was the very first one we ever read. Yeah, the interview. That was like the one where it was like the reporter, and then there was like the alien and stuff. Like the reporter was interviewing someone who was secretly an alien, hell-bent on world domination. So does A. Martin write a bunch of stuff about world domination? I'm kind of curious. But I saw something earlier. I just hold on. It was like when I reached the bottom, I kind of glanced at it. Hang on, let me go back to the story. Okay, let me just scroll back down. It said, it was by A. Martin. It said, if you like this story, check out After Midnight by A. Martin, a 5-star Amazon-rated collection of over 50-plus short stories. I'd like to check that out. But anyway, that is going to be it for this time. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, wait, never mind. Hold on. I am working on something. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but there's something really cool I'm coming up with. But I may be returning to the world of a new series. Or an old series. That's the hint. You can go ahead and put your theories in the comments below. It's from it's one of the old series I decided to return. But yeah, that is all for this time. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like and comment. Tell me what you did, Jeff. Also, be sure to share and subscribe for daily uploads. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.